After 2 years of pretending not to know or have an idea of what is going on in Gaza and the plan of the internationally recognized war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu to continue the war in Gaza, people of Israel, the settlers, decided yesterday to rise up to challenge Netanyahu point blank. Yesterday, over 1 million people, trooped out en masse, surging to the street in Haifa, in Tel Aviv, in Jerusalem, to protest what they perceive as a plan by Netanyahu to continue the war, especially with this new plan they have now to conquer all the parts of Gaza.
This is crazy, and it finally happens. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis are marching right now in the streets of Tel Aviv, demanding to end this annihilation war, to bring back all the hostages in a deal. Finally, so many people in Israel are demanding this government to go home, demanding to end the war. We are here standing together, a movement of Jews and Palestinians. We are here also demanding life to the Palestinians, demanding to end the starvation, demanding life to the children in Gaza. This is the only way to move forward.
This protest was very encouraging for me, who has been an ardent advocate for the Palestinian state and for peace in Palestine generally. I would say I am very encouraged because for the very first time, these guys decided to realize that the people who are in Gaza are humans. Majority of these people that came out are those who voted for Netanyahu as well. Because let's face the reality, Netanyahu is a politician and they're in a so-called democracy. If no one voted Netanyahu based on some of his policies and his extremist views, I think we wouldn't have situations like this. Netanyahu funded what happened in Gaza, allowed it to happen. These guys supported Netanyahu, and they are the reason why Netanyahu is thriving in politics. But rising up to say enough is quite encouraging.
Israel, for many years, certainly since the 1980s, has increasingly taught its own people, but also Europe and the United States, that the Holocaust was not only an event in the past that should be commemorated and memorized and researched, but also an imminent danger, that whenever Israel was under any kind of threat, including by the people that it occupies and oppresses, that might lead to another Auschwitz. And therefore, if you have this kind of mentality, then any sort of attack, and certainly an attack like the one that was conducted by Hamas, is seen as a genocidal attack that could lead to the destruction of the state. And if that is the case, what is the lesson of the Holocaust drawn by Israelis? It is that you have to eradicate that enemy, because otherwise you would be eradicated yourself. So this is one aspect of it. There's another aspect of it, which is that and that too, I would say, especially the administrations under Netanyahu have been very good in putting out that message, very effective, is that any criticism of Israel, of Israeli policies, is potentially anti-Semitic, and anti-Semitism can lead to genocide of the Jews, and therefore that one has to avoid any such criticism, lest one be tarnished with allegations of anti-Semitism.
The only reason why majority of the people in the world, especially those who are in the West, like in America, are not outraged about what is going on in Gaza, is simply because the media is silent about what's going on. No one is showing, the destruction in Gaza. And when they asked the war criminal, he said that Hamas will be trapped all the buildings.
نتواجد هنا في حي التفاح شرق مدينة غزة. هذا الدمار الواسع الذي خلفه جيش الاحتلال الإسرائيلي في هذه المنطقة. نشاهد هنا دمار كبير على مد البصر في كل مكان. هنا نشاهد هذا الدمار الذي خلفه جيش الاحتلال الإسرائيلي في هذه المنطقة. هنا آثار أو ما تبقى من مسجد المحطة في حي التفاح شرق مدينة غزة. دمار كبير وواسع خلفه جيش الاحتلال الإسرائيلي في هذه المنطقة. استطعنا الوصول إلى هذه المنطقة بالرغم من المخاطرة، ولكن دائما لنوثق حجم الجرائم التي يرتكبها جيش الاحتلال الإسرائيلي في هذه المنطقة. محمود العوضية، التفاح، شرق مدينة غزة. الله يعطيك العافية عزيز.
الله فيك. والله التفاح منطقة مخيفة، يعني شجاعية زيتون تفاح ما ضلش بغزة غير 20%، لهيك الحقوا ما تبقى إن شاء الله.
يا رب يا رب. يعني هذا الدمار.
Just a few days ago, guys like this, journalists, risking it all, going into Gaza to fit what's going on there, were killed. And because Netanyahu doesn't want anyone to see what's going on, they might tomorrow start accusing this guy of being a Hamas activist and decide to take him out. But the truth is, his lies are bursting out and everyone is coming to realize his manipulations and are now turning against him.
Do you know that 400 Palestinian children are taken hostages by Israel in the West Bank? Do you know that 3,650 Palestinian prisoners are kept in Israeli jail without trial, without charges, and they are kept under the so-called administrative detention? They are also captives. If Hamas now releases all the prisoners, all Netanyahu will do is to continue the war, because he says, even if I get the Israeli captives, I will continue the war to destroy Hamas. He will continue till he evicts everybody to the south of Gaza, to the concentration camp, and then he will conduct ethnic cleansing. About Hamas governance, we got from them, I personally negotiated with 14 other Palestinian parties in Beijing more than a year ago. Hamas told us they are ready not to be in the government. They are ready not to be the government of Gaza. They repeat that all the time. And the best substitute to Hamas governance is a national consensus independent government. All Palestinian parties signed that. What did Netanyahu say? No to Hamasistan, no to Fatahistan, no to PLO, no to any Palestinian rule. Because the reality of what we see today is another colonial war to annex land, to take over the rest of the Palestinian land, not only in Gaza, but also in the West Bank. And that is a recipe for eternal conflict, for something that everybody, including Palestinians and Israelis, will suffer from.
And if you doubt that what I'm saying here is an exaggeration, or because I hate Israel as a state and that's why I make videos like this, or why I have this internal channel, or why I've dedicated over 2 years advocating for Palestine, then you are not following the politicians in Israel. For instance, just watch this video of Bezalel Smotrich spewing it the way it is in the mind of an average extremist in Israel.
השיטה המבצעית שונה לחלוטין ממה שהיה בעבר. לא עוד פשיטות עם כניסות ויציאות, אנחנו כובשים, מטהרים ונשארים עד להשמדת חמאס. בדרך אנחנו משמידים את כל מה שעוד נשאר מהרצועה, פשוט, כי הכל שם זו עיר טרור אחת גדולה. במסגרת המלחמה צה"ל מניע אוכלוסייה מאזורי הלחימה ולא משאיר אבן על אבן. אני אומר לכם, פשוט תסתכלו על הסרטונים של מה שקורה ברצועת עזה. האוכלוסייה תגיע לדרום הרצועה ומשם בעזרת השם למדינות שלישיות. במסגרת תוכנית הנשיא טראמפ זה שינוי של מהלך ההיסטוריה, לא פחות. מינימום נדרש שיגיע לאוכלוסייה, פשוט כדי שהעולם לא יעצור אותנו ויאשים אותנו בפשעי מלחמה. צה"ל סוף סוף מנהל מערכה נגד השלטון האזרחי של חמאס, ולא מתמקד רק בתשתית הצבאית. אנחנו מחסלים שרים ופקידים וחלפנים וגורמים במערך הכלכלי והשלטוני של חמאס. במשך 1.5 חודשים לא הכנסנו סיוע הומניטרי לרצועת עזה. זה יצר לחץ גדול מאוד על חמאס, וטוב שכך. אבל גם לחץ צריך לדעת לבסט כדי שהוא לא יתפוצץ לנו בפנים. כשצה"ל חזר בימים האחרונים לתמרן בכל הכוח כדי לכבוש את רצועת עזה, שצה"ל מניע אוכלוסייה מהמקום שבו עוד היה לה קצת אוכל, והידידים הכי גדולים שלנו בעולם, אלה שתומכים בנו, אלה שמבינים שאנחנו לא יכולים לעצור רגע לפני הניצחון המוחלט והשמדת חמאס, כשהם מבקשים מאיתנו לעזור להם, לעזור לנו ולהזים את שקרי ההרעבה, אנחנו צריכים לעשות את זה. מה שייכנס בימים הקרובים זה מעט שבמעט, כמה מאפיות שמחלקות פיתות לאנשים ומטבחים ציבוריים שנותנות מנה יומית של אוכל מבושל. אזרחים בעזה יקבלו פיתה וצלחת אוכל וזהו. זה בדיוק מה שאנחנו רואים בסרטונים, אנשים עומדים בתור ומחכים שכן, ימזגו להם לצלחת, איזה צלחת מרק. האם הייתי רוצה להימנע בכלל מהצורך להכניס גרגר לרצועת עזה? גם לא לאזרחים? יכול להיות. אני מבין מאוד את הכעס, אני מבין מאוד את כאבי הבטן שכולנו כאזרחים מרגישים. האמת היא שעד שאחרון החטופים חוזר, גם מים אנחנו לא צריכים לתת לרצועת עזה.
Someone could say that, this guy making this statement is not the Prime Minister of Israel, and therefore he has no authority. But what you're not forgetting is that this guy is the minister and has the power to give, to allow people to build settlement. This is the guy that is behind the E1 settlement plan in West Bank that will divide the West Bank or split it into two. This guy, if Gaza today is conquered and the rubble is cleared, he's going to be one of those ministers people would come to solicit or for approval for new settlements in Gaza. So when he speaks, he has something to say. He actually gives donations to the policies, the official policies of the apartheid government of Israel. So he is an authority.
העובדה שיש בה 50,000 הרוגים בעזה היא הכרחית ונדרשת לדורות הבאים. אוקיי, פשטתם. אוקיי, השפלתם. אוקיי, שחטתם, רצחתם, הכל נכון. המחיר, אני אמרתי של המלחמה, על כל מה שקרה בשביל אותו, על כל אחד בשביל באוקטובר צריך לעמוד 50 פלסטינים. זה לא משנה עכשיו ילדים. אני לא מדבר על זה מתוך נקמה, אני מדבר על זה מתוך מסר לדורות הבאים. אין לעשות, הם צריכים מדי פעם נכבה כדי להרגיש כדי. אין ברירה בשכונה המופרעת הזאת. אין ברירה. זה שישבתי במשרד מישהו כמה חודשים אחרי תחילת המלחמה לי, מצא שזה קרה לקיבוצניקים האלה, השמאלנים האלה שדאגו להסיע את כל הארצות עם טיפולי סרטן באיכילוב ובתל השומר. ככה אמר לי מישהו מפני. הרי גם היום הם חושבים אני יושב את עזה. עוד לפני שטראמפ בא. הם חושבים את זה שמישהו נכנס ממשל צבאי ולהחזיק אספי חיילים בתוך עזה, זה אנחנו. ואם ממשל צבאי, גם דרמר, הלו, וגם ביבי קצת, וגם יריב לוין, בואו נתחיל אחרי סמוטריץ'. אפילו עכשיו, העסקת שבויים שהחטופים שעשו עכשיו, היא הייתה כתובה ככה בדיוק לפני שנה. אחד לאחד. אני אומר לך, בחלק מהדברים אפילו יותר טובה מהעסקה הזאת. אז למה לקח עוד שעה לעשות אותה?
So in essence, I'm really encouraged by the protests that happened, and I sincerely hope that it develops any fruit. But for Netanyahu, he's not moved by that because his political standing, most of his coalition is, still standing at this moment, though the majority have reduced, but it's still standing, and he strongly believes that there's nothing that appears a threat to him. But obviously, I don't trust the state of Israel because this might also be Netanyahu's game plan. Just make it look at people are against what you're doing. Let people protest and, seem there was an opposition to what you're saying. Tomorrow, if anything comes out of it, you say, oh, well, the Israelis, the people do not support him. Because I strongly believe that the only reason why these guys are on the street protesting is because of the prisoners of war. If there was no prisoners of war in Gaza right now, I don't think that these guys would be on the street saying anything. In fact, they will be so silent and they would support Netanyahu till the very end. The only reason why I guess they are saying this, not because of humanity, because this is not the very first time when Israel has gone to destroy Gaza. We have series of cases, 2012, 2014, and other times, but no one came out to protest against the genocide. So why they're protesting here is because the operation that Israel is planning to carry out, if it goes as he plans it, would jeopardize the chances of the prisoners of war returning to their families. And that's the reason why, that's the essence of all this. All those ministers visiting this protest camp and whatever are all motivated by all this. So without the prisoners of war in Gaza, no sympathy for those in Palestine. So, I strongly believe things will change because I've got a report recently that Egypt is considering being part of an internationally recognized force that would go into Gaza to secure or prevent Israel from carrying out its objective of conquering the entirety of Gaza. I also heard that Hamas sent a letter to the negotiators in Qatar, and they're considering, accepting some of the proposals that have been made so far. But Hamas have to be very careful because you can't trust Netanyahu. You can see what he's doing in Lebanon. By the end of today, we might have a very good news that maybe what's happening in Gaza. But for the war criminal, he is supposed to be in The Hague right now. No more, no less. All right. Thank you so much for being part of it today. I really, really appreciate it. And the best way you could support us in this journey is to simply subscribe to this channel. So if it is something you've not done before, I encourage you to look for the red button where there is subscribe and click it. There are advantages for that. One is that you will never miss any of our updates. Two is that you'll be supporting our voice to be heard all over the world, because the more we are, the more YouTube will be able to distribute or disseminate it to the people that need it. Thank you so much for the support, and God bless you.